Welcome back to Big Mouth and fancy seeing you here. And welcome to my match reaction from Manchester United versus Bournemouth. Manchester United 4, Bournemouth 1. We have seen an attacking display at Old Trafford like we haven't seen in many a year. What Ollie Solskjaer and Mickey Phelan and Michael Carrick and Kieran and the rest of the coaches are doing is absolutely sensational. So how much is this a reaction, that kind of knock-on effect from a new manager coming in after an unpopular manager being sacked? And how much is it because Ollie Solskjaer is doing a fantastic job? It's all about the coaching, you see. Ollie Solskjaer is a forward, and he was a very good forward. And what we're seeing, for example, in Marcus Rashford, the run he did for that goal to set up Pogba was simply sensational. We haven't seen that kind of play from Marcus Rashford for a very long time. It's about confidence. It's about telling the players what you want from them and the players understanding it. It's not necessarily about the players being told what they want to hear. It's about telling the players what you want. And this is what's happening with Ollie Solskjaer. He has very direct messages, but he's also being very positive. So the elephant in the room, of course, is Paul Pogba. Not that I would ever call him an elephant to his face. He's been hugely criticised before Ollie Solskjaer came in. He wasn't consistent. He wasn't always playing well. What was the problem? The problem was that Mourinho was using him as a midfielder, or sometimes even on the far right or far left of the wing, right? But this time, Ollie Solskjaer is actually using him as a forward, a really advanced forward. He's literally giving him a free role. The best position for Pogba is actually just behind the forwards. That's where he works. That's where he's more dangerous and most effective. So Ollie Solskjaer isn't actually doing anything that groundbreaking. He's not breaking the fourth wall here. It's obvious. You must play your players to your strengths. And I hear people saying all players should be able to play in any position. Listen, everyone in life has their strengths and has their weaknesses. I do my YouTube videos without a script. If I did a script, I'd be going, like that, right? It wouldn't even seem sincere and genuine. But I just spitball and improvise on my videos, and they're more effective for me, and they work within my confidence levels. And it's like Paul Pogba. Paul Pogba is literally a forward. He's not a striker, but he's a forward. He's most dangerous in that little Cantona hole I used to talk about back in the good old days. Put him just behind the strikers or just behind the striker. He's very dangerous. In the box, setting people up, doing little give and goes. That's how he's so effective. And this is why he's now doing something, right, that he never did under Mourinho. He's consistent. And he's being consistent like the rest of the players because they're being played in the correct manner. So the only negative from from the game was Bailey. Bailey's challenge was absolutely ridiculous. I don't know what he was thinking of. He's now going to have a 3-match ban because I really want to see, I want to see him have a prolonged run in the team. And he's taken that away from himself. So obviously we've got Phil Jones again. My opinion of Phil Jones is he's a really good defender, actually, but his confidence has been knocked by Mourinho. Even though he was one of Mourinho's favourites, the way he was being played just doesn't suit him. The only problem with Jones, really, is his attendance record. He seems to always be injured, but you can't blame the player for that. I'm sorry. Some players are injury prone. Brian Robson was injury prone. Did we used to attack him? Of course we didn't, because we saw him as a United great. Now, Phil Jones won't go down as a United legend, but he's a very capable defender. Look, Manchester United need 5 or 6 world-class players in the next 2 to 3, 4 transfer windows. There's no question about that. But we've still got very good players at the club. And we're seeing that. The attacking display we saw yesterday was sensational. Now, where do I stand on the next Manchester United manager? We've got the next Manchester United manager, and that's Ollie Solskjaer. He has displayed that he can command respect from the players. And also, he's a very attack-minded manager. We are not really defending now. All we're doing, our defence is our attack. We're literally just going forward and saying, if you score one, we'll score 3 or 4. And that, my friends, is the United way. So yeah, we look a bit worrying in defence, but that's because it's not because we can't defend, it's because, excuse me, it's because we're actually so kamikaze going forward. We lose a lot, we make a lot of gaps in our defence. But that's fine. That's the United way. That's the way I want us to play. So next for us is the 2nd of January 2019. Sounds a long way off, but it's only, Wednesday? So that's going to be a very interesting game. That's going to be the hardest game we've had so far. They nearly beat us at Old Trafford. So it's going to be very interesting what happens there. And of course, Benitez versus Solskjaer. Benitez, a very experienced manager who's really suffering at Newcastle. I can't see him surviving to the end of this season, but it will be very interesting what happens in that game. Then we've got Reading, and then we've got another elephant in the room, which is Tottenham. And of course, Tottenham is Ole Solskjaer's big test. This is where we're going to see if he actually is going to be a good Manchester United manager. Can he command a team to go play that kamikaze, that attacking, and get a result? Now, I don't want us to lose this game, but I won't mind so much if he keeps his attacking principles. We've just got to attack them. Now, if they beat us because of that, that's fine. We move on. For me, Ole Solskjaer is the one who should be our manager, because I don't want Zidane. I don't want Cappuccino. I want Ole Solskjaer. You've got an ex-Man United player as the assistant coach in Mickey Phelan. We know he's proved himself. He's a great coach for the club. Now, Ole Solskjaer still got to prove himself in longevity terms. But ultimately, for me, he's the right man for the job. Now, of course, results dictate what happens within these situations. But in a way, that's sad. I remember when we used to dominate and Liverpool used to struggle. And pundits used to say the old boot room doesn't work. I think that the boot room concept does work. But it just depends who you pick from the boot room to run your team. So, for example, if we had Steve Bruce or Mark Hughes, it wouldn't work. But Ole Solskjaer and Mickey Phelan do work. And I think they should remain in place as the coaches of this club. Whether that will happen or not, I don't know. It's great to see Sir Alex Ferguson smiling. There's a real feel-good factor. And Eddie Howe, the Bournemouth manager, even said there was a big difference in the atmosphere at the ground. The ground was rocking because the players dictate that. Whether the crowd are going to be rocking or having a very kind of somber atmosphere, it's up to the players to entertain the fans. The fans can't entertain the players. Of course, you want to back the players and give them confidence. But if you're playing the type of football we were doing under Mourinho, that's just not going to work. So I think the boot room thing actually works. It just depends who you choose from that boot room. So even though people think, oh, that's the old days, and you need someone like Zidane or Cappuccino, I don't think that you do. We've tried high-profile managers. They don't work. And that, as far as I'm concerned, that's the end of it. Solskjaer should get the full-time job. That's my opinion. What do you think? Who do you want to be the manager of this team? I know that fans are really obsessed with the glamour of getting big-name players and big-name managers, but that doesn't always work for clubs. I mean, Sir Alex Ferguson, when he came to United, he was an impressive manager. He'd done well in Scotland. But even people at the time were saying, yeah, but that's only Scotland. So people were underestimating him a lot. People weren't exactly happy that Sir Alex Ferguson took over Man United when he first did. I think there's an opportunity here. And I think we should take that opportunity to understand high-profile managers just don't work for Manchester United.